Happy Wednesday, all you fabulous freight masters out there. We made it, right? Wednesday. We made it halfway through the week. We're getting closer and closer to Friday, right? So let me switch some stuff around here real quick. Wait for some of you fabulous freight masters to jump on here and get things going. We're going to try this live networking thing again, hoping for a little better participation. Got some more double brokering stuff to share with you guys and gals. Give it about another 30 seconds here, and then we'll jump into it. Yeah, I hope everybody's having a great day. There we go. We got some people jumping on now. Awesome. Thanks for joining. Okay. So, as the title of the video said, we're going to do some live networking today. So if you're a broker, carrier, direct shipper, hey, join in. Hey, you're very welcome. I hope that you were able to make contact with them today. Super awesome people. Like I said, Shaggy and his team over there, all of them, they're phenomenal. They truly, truly are. Just like Tom and his people over at Operify. This is why we partner with certain companies, right? Because I trust them. They're absolute experts in what they do, and I don't use that term lightly. Carrier okay. I'm loving the Carrier okay, right? Like I said, I've been catching a lot of these double brokers out there, and we're gonna put them on blast. Like I about had it after the last couple of days, and the number of them that I've gotten a hold of. Normally when I'm on the phone and I get a call from somebody, I try to be very respectful, very polite, and things. Obviously, we try to make everything go as smoothly in this industry, but sometimes there's things, unforeseen circumstances, truck breakdowns, things like that can happen, right? But this is also why we build our network and everything, so that we run as a broker. You use trusted carriers that you have a rapport with, and things. And likewise for carriers, using brokers that they can count on, that they can reach by phone if they've got a problem, right? Or hey, we're getting close to that 2-hour mark and they still haven't given me a door, so we need to start that detention clock. Or hey, we've started the detention clock, they're closing in 3 hours, I still don't have a door. Believe me, I've run into it, right? I'm sure there's some things out there that I haven't run into, but I've been hit with a lot of challenges over the years, right? I'm not going to get into that one. That was a horrible, horrible story. They held my driver's trailer hostage at a facility down in Georgia. But I digress. So yeah, we're going to put these double brokers on blast. I've about had it. And like I said, I kind of went off on one of them today because he literally called me and had the audacity to ask for the same load again after I'd already busted him. Right? The shameful double broker, the slime scuzz-sucking parasite of the industry. Right? I'm fired up, people. This stuff it's got me fuming, and it's almost comical. It truly, truly is. Some of the things that they try to pull on us. Like you literally, like I think I mentioned yesterday, you almost have to be like a detective or a private eye. And you got to utilize all your resources, Carrier okay, the FMCSA, like all these things, verify phone numbers, verify emails, and if they've got a different email, oh, we have an updated email now, okay, well, you're still going to make a phone call to the listed phone number that's on file on the FMCSA and Carrier OK. Reach them by email if you have to verify that that this is who they say they are, right? Because we talked in previous videos about the DOT theft, right? All kinds of things, cargo theft, cargo hostage, all of this stuff. I've had it. And if one of you viewers out there is David from GFC Transportation, thanks for tuning in. I love the conversation. I am still waiting on that approval. She did read it because I have an email tracker that shows me if they, opened and read the email. So hopefully, I'd like to get an answer while we're live on the show if you're watching. Yeah, that would be awesome. So, bear with me here. I don't know who that is. Not important, right? We're in the middle of the show. So this double broker who was so stupid to reach out to me multiple times is, and I'm going to share this tab because we're going to start putting them on blast, right? Because I don't want to see another broker or a carrier get caught up in it. So there they are, Panto Logistics. Right? One power unit, one driver, brand new authority, just a couple of months old, zero inspections, no mileage, nothing, no safety score, no risk score, nothing. So, like I mentioned before, when you're using Carrier OK, you really want to check these little icons over here with the magnifying lenses on them, right? Verify that email's, there, the phone number, the address. Usually the address is the first giveaway. And lo and behold, let me switch tabs here. Boom, 2 different ones listed at the same address, right? So what does your good old pal Tim do? He pulls them up. And we see that their authority's inactive insurance. That authority is even newer, which I think, I don't know, maybe they're because they have multiple MCs, because once one goes dead, they already got a fresh one in the works, right? And then they'll activate that. They'll probably call me. The same idiot will call me about another load or something. It's just it's despicable, and it's costing everybody, right? So when I Google the address, lo and behold, it goes to a Staples. A Staples, people. Like I said, I've caught them at Staples. I've caught them using address at Goodwill. We've caught them at virtual offices, law offices, anything. In this particular Staples, they have, my screen didn't flip. You scroll down here, you can use their address as your address, right? Again, virtual office. It's despicable, absolutely despicable what they're doing. And we need to expose this. Leave notes in your system. If your brokerage or your fleet, your dispatchers and stuff, on your TMS, leave notes on these guys, right? And I threw a post out earlier on them, but this is just one of many. I wrote them all down, and I've got to go back through and sort them out, but just absolutely, oh yeah, we'll be there. We'll do a good job. Please give us a second chance. No. So, like I said, I kind of flipped out on that guy, and I told him what I was going to do today. I was going to expose his company, his brand new company, so that you guys had access to that and didn't get caught up in it, right? So if you're a broker out there, do not give them a load. Again, if you haven't already signed up for Carrier OK, there's a pinned post in the group. There's a coupon code to get your first month free to check it out. It's 50% of the price. Their normal price is 50% of what Carrier 411 is. And like I said, it's been phenomenal for me catching all of these slime bags. You know, a lot more that I want to say, but I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to cuss. So I'll save that for later. Right? My dog will look at me and she'll be like, huh? You know. So that being said, I got that out of the way. If you guys, again, let me throw my email back up for you. Oh, and I have that for the Carrier OK as well. I almost forgot I had that on there. Freightmaster 2023, all caps. Use that coupon code for your first month free. Check it out. I guarantee you won't be sorry. Right? Going to use Carrier OK. It has been. I honestly, I don't know how I would get through the day without it. To be honest with you, I really don't. It's saved me so much time because I can pick them out just like that normally, right? Sometimes, you know what I mean? I get a little bit of a rush and I'm like, wait a minute. But yeah, it exposes them, you know. And don't forget to leave notes in Carrier OK. Leave notes in your system so that one of your other dispatchers or broker agents or somebody doesn't, you know, go that maybe they're not, you know, familiar with Carrier OK or they're not going through all the verification processes. You could leave them a note that, hey, don't use anybody with that MC, right? So, and it seems to be a lot more prevalent. And correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe, you know, you guys have a slightly different experience, but it seems to be more prevalent with like the straight trucks, right? I know there's some others out there that are running, you know, 53-foot dries and, you know, things like that. But it just, I've had some straight truck loads here lately, and it's just, you know, power only. And yeah, it's, oh yeah, we could do that. So, anywho, guys, one of the biggest reasons why we're here is to network live, right? If you're a broker, direct shipper, a carrier, looking to network with brokers and direct shippers, hit us up. We've got direct shippers in the Facebook group, right? When they're in need, they post it. Looking to work with a carrier out of, you know, wherever, Dallas, Fort Worth area, or out of LA or whatever, you know, hit that up. Throw your information out there, right? Maybe you picked up a new customer as a broker and you're like, hey, I've got this new customer in St. Louis, Missouri, and I've got, you know, they're going to give me these regular lanes, you know, to Chicago or Boston or wherever, you know, hit me up. Let's put this together. Okay, we have a question. Are you familiar with RMIS from Truck Stop? I am. And I like and don't like RMIS. And there's simpler carrier setup, you know, online carrier setups for that than RMIS. Without having to do the login and check and dig, and it's a much more complicated system than some of them. And you know, maybe because I'm old, you know, but I honestly I prefer DAT onboard. I know there's some other ones out there, you know, My Carrier Packets, things like that, but I prefer DAT onboard. It's just a lot simpler. You get an email notification when they finish their setup, you know, and you know, if your system integrates with that, then hey, awesome. But if you're using Truck Stop, ITS Truck Stop, TMS, then you know maybe RMIS would be best for you, because I don't think the DAT onboard integrates with that. So it's really more about what system you're using and exploring, you know, your options with that. I'm trying to remember the Ascend TMS. I don't remember which one that one. I want to say that one's DAT onboard, and maybe somebody that's watching right now can correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say that you can use the DAT on board with that one, but I could be wrong. So without digging through and wasting your time to research that right now, but if you have a better experience with that than I do, then by all means, please share. But yeah, I'm familiar with it. RMS, like I said, I'm not dogging it. It's a decent system. It's just a little bit more. There's more steps involved using RMIS than with the DAT on board. It's just not quite as simple. Okay, yeah, you have Ascend. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure which one integrates with it. I'm pretty sure there is one, and they might have multiple options. It might be something you have to request. Honestly, I'd have to go through and look. But if you already have an account, there's probably something in there listed, I would imagine, right? Because I am familiar with the Ascend TMS, just not all the parts to it. It's been a minute since I've used it, so I'm sorry I'm not more help than that. But they're all good. I don't know that other than the having to log in and dig kind of a feature thing. One being more complicated than the other. I think they all do a decent job at what they do. But I also wouldn't use that as the end all for vetting carriers, right? This is why we use stuff like Carrier 411 or Carrier OK and things, because they basically, the DAT on board and RMIS, they don't really do any kind of like checks per se. Some of them have like a 3-month minimum for that your authority has to be active before you can onboard through one of those systems. I believe RMIS is like that. DAT, I don't think, has that. But it basically just pulls their insurance, their data from the FMCSA, and that's about the extent of it, so that you can kind of like auto-populate that information into your system without, it's and so that you've got it on file, that their insurance is up to date and everything. And but beyond that, they don't really do much more than that, in my opinion. You really need to do your step-by-step checks. Like I said, utilize stuff like Carrier OK to really make sure that you're working with a legit company. They're pitching contingent cargo and E&O with RMIS. Yeah, I know that through Truck Stop and that they offer that. I believe DAT offers that as well. It's really going to kind of come down to your pricing. Let me see. Cargo insurance. I wasn't going to do this, but yeah, let's share this real quick. Can you guys see that okay? All right, I'm going to take your comment down just real briefly here. They do have cargo insurance, commercial insurance, pay by the load insurance, things like that, I believe. If you want, I can I can drop the link for you. I forget I can do that sometimes with this. I love StreamYard. By the way, guys, if you guys run a channel or anything, StreamYard, I absolutely love it. There's a few features that I had with the old system that I don't have with this one, but I still like it. But there's the link for that if you want to investigate that a little further. Like I said, everybody's budget is different. Their needs are different and things. So it's really kind of comes down to research. Hey, you're more than welcome. That's why we're here, right? So yeah. But I should probably pull up. Give that just a quick moment here. And as always, like I said, we've got the freightbrokerresources.com, truckingresource.com, or the truckersresource.com. Almost mispronounced our own website, right? But yeah, anybody got anything else they want to share? Did you get a new customer? Did you build a relationship with a broker, or if you're a carrier with a direct customer, anything like that? How are your follow-ups going? If you've got prospects that say, "Yeah, send me over your paperwork," are you doing your follow-ups? You'd be surprised how important those follow-ups are. Almost more important, in my opinion, than the actual initial call, because too often at times, like I've mentioned in other videos, is they'll say, "Yeah, go ahead, send your stuff over," but they really want to see how important they are to you before they just say, "Yeah, here's some freight." You know, they want to know that you really want to work with them, that, you really are. If you email, there you go. Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. Are you primarily email prospecting? Are you doing cold calls? Are you utilizing LinkedIn? I'm always kind of curious because I know that everybody kind of has their own method. Me personally, I prefer to do cold calls rather than email blast, because some of your prospects have kind of like sophisticated email systems, and if they don't have your email authorized in their system, it won't go through, and so then you end up kind of having to resort to cold calling anyway. Um, but yeah, it's always interesting to kind of hear about success rates, failure rates, whatever, in regards to cold calls and emails. Cold calling and Google research. Yep, Google's going to be your best friend. Honestly, and I've actually even pulled up like a certain city on like Google Maps, and it shows you all the different businesses and stores. Kroger's is over here, and this shoe store's over here, and whatever. Sometimes you can find like industrial parks, things like that. That different businesses that you can reach out to. Yeah, there's leads everywhere, people. As long as you can't cheat the grind, right? That's something I always tell everybody. You can't cheat the grind. You've got to get on there. You got to be making more than 10 or 15 calls a day, because your fault, their fault, nobody's fault. At some point in time, expect your customer to leave you, right? This is why we're constantly, even after we have, I probably have, gosh, 100 and some customers right now, and I'm still adding them because they, one might go out of business, or due to the economy, oh, we're just not doing that much right now. Well, I have carriers that are counting on me. I have a family that's counting on me, right? So we're always prospecting, we're always networking, we're always building new relationships, right? And if you're a broker or a carrier, network with other brokers and carriers as well. It doesn't have to be just brokers and networking with carriers and vice versa. Sometimes LinkedIn data isn't updated. Yeah. In my experience, I'd say it's got to be probably at least 80 to 90% up to date. But yeah, from time to time, I'll call, and ask to talk to, I don't know, Bob or whoever the point of contact is. And they'll be like, "Oh, well, Bob hasn't been here for a year." "Oh, really? Wow." Yeah, sometimes it gets a little outdated because, Bob didn't update his, didn't change his LinkedIn profile or something. I don't know that's necessarily a LinkedIn problem, but and if you can't find a particular, here, let's run through this while we're working at it. We're kind of getting off track, right? I hope that's okay, from some of the live networking, but let's see. Transportation. Can't type today, guys, so bear with me. Manager. Oh, well, this is another thing, actually, since that popped up. Transportation manager jobs. Let me switch over here. Okay. So if you're looking for prospects, I've mentioned this in previous videos for those of you that might be new. You can actually find leads looking for job openings. So whether ABC Manufacturing or whatever their name is, they let their transportation manager go. Maybe they found a new position at another company and they left. And somebody, obviously, maybe it happened very suddenly. And the new person that's kind of jumping in and sort of temporarily taking over that role until they hire somebody else is probably going to be very grateful that you reached out to them. And that, and they can lean on you to source, carriers to help them keep their freight moving, right? Take some of that burden off of their shoulders. They're probably going home and popping aspirin like a junkie, right? Because that's not their normal job role. But let's see, Univar Solutions. Who are they? I'm actually not familiar with that company. Well, let's see what they do. Alrighty then. So, oops. Univar.com. Website isn't working for me for some reason. Okay, let's go down here a little further. Comprehensive. Nope, let's get that out of there. And they have this same thing in, well, okay, let's go. No, I don't want, I want this sort of like, okay, we'll go to LinkedIn. All right. All right, good. Okay, so there's DHL is looking. Let's see, waste management program, district transportation manager. What is it that they do? The name of this company rings a bell for me. Oh, chemical manufacturing. Okay, so if you're working on, if you specialize, if your niche is hazmat type stuff, probably this might be a good prospect for you, right? And this job happens to be in Romulus, Michigan, which would be like the Detroit area. Okay, so obviously, if you're looking for more freight out of the Detroit area, you've got access to, you have a network of carriers that do hazmat out of that area, or maybe they're outbound to the Detroit area and they're looking for loads back out, right? Let's see, here's Midwest Transmission Substation Superintendent. They're again, Detroit. I'm in Michigan, so I think that for whatever reason, it's being a little bit biased with with that. So it looks like they're like an energy construction company or something. And actually, I've done freight for construction companies. There was a company out of North Carolina. They had a big project. They were building like I can't remember if it was a stadium or something out in Cali. But every 2 weeks, I would ship all their equipment back and forth. Right? They would go out and do that, but then I would ship all their tools out, ship all their tool boxes and everything back, and different project, equipment and stuff like that. So let's see, Semco Energy. They're looking for a manager of supply chain utilities. That would be another one. Garda World, what do they do? Oh, I'll just cover security and investigations. Huh. That's a new one on me. I actually may have to look into this, whether I prospect them or not, just because coaching mentors. Oh, maybe not. It's a manufacturing company, okay, out of Pontiac, Michigan, which is, again, not too far from Detroit, if you're not familiar with Michigan very well. Yeah, so there's all kinds of, there's a packaging company. Yeah, they're all in there. And some of these, oh, there's Advanced Auto Parts is looking for a logistics manager. That one might be a good big account. Probably a lot of dry van freight, right? So you kind of get the idea. There's Kroger out of Romulus, Michigan. If you're into shipping groceries and that kind of thing, you know, by all means, hit them up. Here's a sugar company, right? Warehouse manager. Maybe they help. Maybe they're needing some help shipping their product as well. So the idea being is that there's leads all around us, right? And I kind of a quick funny story is when my wife and I first got together, I was already, working as a broker. And when we would go to the grocery store, I would pay because I was shipping a lot of produce, and I would notice a particular product in the produce section at the grocery store, and a brand that I was not familiar with. So what does Tim do? I pull out my phone, right? Chink, and I take a snapshot of that company name, if there was an address on there or anything, and I would do that. And it didn't matter. I might be over in hardware if I was like, Walmart or Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever. Like, I had a really bad habit of that. I probably embarrassed the hell out of her, right? but I did that, and I actually picked up customers by doing that. I'd come home, go through my pictures that I took snapshots of, and did my research, find out who my contact was, any other information that I might be able to find out about them, anything maybe recent in the news. Maybe they built a new distribution center or something, and they're shipping product there. That kind of thing. One of my biggest customers that I've ever had, I found due to a news feed, and I was the first broker to reach out to them, and they only wanted one broker. Right? I think I've kind of told this story before, and they were the largest one of what they did that was west of Texas. And we moved a lot of freight. And fortunately for me, and it took a year before we moved our first load because they were still constructing their facility, right? And then what turned into what originally I think was supposed to be like 6 months, 5 to 6 months, turned into a year. They had construction delays, permit problems, and I was literally to the point of like almost giving up. I was like, oh, this is never going to happen. And then all of a sudden my phone rang one day, right? So, like I said, just because it doesn't pay off in the first phone call or the first follow-up, keep at it, right? I told you guys that story about my uncle that kept showing up at Kellogg's when he was young, when he was in high school. Finally, they got tired of seeing him every day and asking for a job. And they said, kid, do you know how to push a broom? Yeah. And he worked his way up through the company, right? So persistence pays off, right? Squeaky wheel gets the grease, whatever terminology you want to use. But follow up. Resources are all around us. And if you need any help, my email's right there. Guys, don't be bashful. Email me. Like I said, I do monitor that. Some of you that are watching, I'm sure you can attest to that, even if I get delayed for a little bit, I promise I will answer you back, right? And if I don't have an answer, I guarantee you I know somebody who does. It might be a carrier. It might be another broker. It might be multiple resources that I throw at you, right? So, but this is why I network, and because I'm able to learn new things along with you and pass on information to you that hopefully is very helpful, because I want to see everybody grow and succeed and be prosperous. I truly do. Like I said, I didn't start off in this knowing everything. I still don't know everything. Even though the name of this channel is Freight Masters, there's a lot that I do know, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but there's certain areas of the industry that I just never got into. For whatever reason, there's some stuff I got into that I never would have in a million years expected. All due to a request, right? Or somebody referred me, crash course, talked to some people, walked me through it, got the first load or two done. And then after that, it just kind of became a thing, right? But I guess if nobody else has anything else to share, I'm probably going to jump off here. But again, don't, shoot me an email if you need anything. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, share this out with your friends. Let's build this, because if we don't have enough viewers on this, then eventually I'm just going to shut it down. And I think that would be a real shame. I really do, because I think that it's at least in my head, I believe that it's something that could be very advantageous for everybody. Hopefully, but I don't know. Anywho, guys, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. I'll see you back here at 6:30 tomorrow Eastern time. Okay, that's PM, not AM. Don't get me up too early, right? I'll be cranky. I don't have enough coffee by 6:30. I'll be like, what do you want? No, I'm kidding. I would never do that to you guys. But yeah, hit me up. You got an idea for the show? You got a double broker that you caught that you want me to expose? Again, you guys can remain anonymous, okay? But let's get the word out there. Let's help each other, okay? You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And thank you. Thank you, because I've noticed that you watch every single day. Every single day, and I pay attention to that. And thank you for that. So go get them tomorrow. Get those calls, get those customers, build those relationships. And as always, be kind to one another. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.